third attempt at my everyday makeup tutorial, and if you're seeing this part, which is the intro, that means I did it. I got all the way through finally, without royally messing up, or like my last one where I didn't even get past the primer section. Yeah, so if you want to see how I get this look, keep watching, and I hope you enjoy it. I just got out of the shower, that's why my hair is like soaking wet still. So it might turn into a frizzy mess throughout the video as it dries. I have both of them. I actually misplaced my favorite one this week. This one is the Benefit Porefessional Matte Rescue, or I guess Benefit the Porefessional Matte Rescue. Sorry, put the in the wrong spot. This one is amazing for combo to oily skin, and I'm for sure going to get the full size once I'm done with this little sample size. But since I didn't have that one this week, I've been using the Touch in Sol No Pore Bloom Primer, which is really nice as well. I got this in a BoxyCharm recently, I think last month. And it's been fun to try it out. I've been wanting to try it for a while. But of course, I'm going to choose the Benefit one, my favorite. I haven't gotten to use it in a week. Focus it on my T-zone, and then any extra I work out to the outskirts of my face. I should probably put my hair up because it's gonna get makeup all in it, even though I just washed it. Okay, and right now, yeah, you could see all my redness. I had an allergic reaction last week. I'm not sure what it was from, but like I had, yeah, red marks all along like my face, and it was not cute. You can still see some of it like on my face. We're gonna let that settle in for a second, and in that second I'm gonna put my hair up real quick. Yeah, it looks crazy, I'm sorry, but it's keeping my hair out of my face. Okay, so I have my two foundations. One's a drugstore price, and one's a little bit higher end. I'm not really good at like modeling these. My hands are all like meh. So my drugstore one is from Maybelline. It's the Matte and Poreless foundation for normal to oily skin, and it is in the shade 220 Natural Beige. And yeah, this one's really light coverage. I think, I don't know, light to medium buildable coverage. You honestly don't feel like you have any foundation on. It feels really nice, very natural. Yeah, it's my favorite drugstore one. And I do kind of get oily throughout the day with this one. It doesn't totally control the oils, but if you're a combination skin like me, I think you should have no problems with it. And then next is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r Soft Matte Longwear Foundation. And yes, I had to read the back because it's kind of a long name. I don't know. I'm sure I could have said it without reading it. But this one is in the shade 235. I love it for like coverage. It's I guess medium to high buildable coverage. You can definitely make it like light coverage if you just use it sparingly, and then build it up as you go. But I mainly love the way it makes my pores look, because I have enlarged pores right around here, and then, I don't know, like on my nose, around, you know, the normal spots that people usually seem to have enlarged pores. But it really blurs it out, which, you know, Pro Filt'r, the name, you know, it goes along with what it does. But there's the two foundations, and I think I'm going to be using, I guess I'll use the Fenty one because I haven't used that one this week. I've been mainly using this. This is my go-to during my work week. It's natural, it's really easy to work with, and yeah, this one, it does dry really quickly, so you have to work pretty fast with it. but I mean, it's really good as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and dampen my beauty sponge. Sorry, it's already dirty. Gross. Alright, I'm back, and I have a clean sponge. I decided just to clean it since I was going over there anyways. And I have my foundation. We're going to be using the Fenty Beauty one. And yeah, I have an Eco Tools sponge. I definitely recommend it. You could get it at Target or, I don't know, what, Ulta or Sephora. I think I've gotten one at Ulta before. I used to use the Beauty Blender, but I mean, 20 bucks for a sponge when you could get this, plus a mini one at Target for like 10 bucks, and it's still really good. I'd rather get this and save some money. Okay, so this is where the tribal stripes come in. That's just how I put my foundation on before blending. So, and it's like really opaque. Yeah, I usually do, which is probably way too much for this foundation. Like if I used this amount for the Maybelline one, like it would be, you know, light coverage. And I need to work quickly because this stuff dries really fast. And I'm not using a whole pump since I'm just getting a little bit at a time to just make this amazingness. Yeah, just use it sparingly as I go. But as you can see, it's already kind of hard to blend. You just have to work at it. I'm usually listening to music or like, I mean, I have the TV on right now, but obviously it's muted. I guess I could put on music, but we'll just have to sit in awkward silence. Or I could just speed up this portion because who wants to see me blend makeup? Alright, so once I'm done with my face, I go in around my eyes. I usually do that last. I don't know why. I think it's because I do concealer last if I'm actually taking the extra step to use concealer. But this has such good coverage that I don't really feel like I need an extra step. Well, I guess it's still an extra step, but I don't need an extra product. But yeah, I'm gonna go into another quick time lapse. Foundation is on. All blended. One thing about this foundation that is not my favorite is around my nose. That's usually my problem area for like creasing, and sometimes it comes off throughout the day. But with this foundation, I would use it sparingly around your nose, especially like right here, because it does crease, and it kind of builds up and looks a little cakey. So yeah, use it sparingly around the nose. You can definitely build it up around your cheeks or maybe on your like forehead or chin. But yeah, I would definitely recommend setting it lightly with some face powder. This is translucent powder from Pretty Vulgar. I love the packaging, it's so pretty. This is the Powder Room Matte About It Translucent Setting Powder by Pretty Vulgar. I like it. I mean, no, it doesn't make my skin look ghostly white. Having a little bit more tan skin, like sometimes I could look like a ghost. And so far I haven't noticed any flashback for photos. So if you, yeah, I mean, if you want a nice translucent powder, I recommend it. I don't know how much it costs. I should have, you know, done my research, but I'll list all the prices and all like the products down below so that you have them just in case. But yeah, so I start out with the translucent powder around my eyes. I kind of build it up on my eyelids because my under eyes crease a lot, so do my eyelids. What is my dog doing upstairs? Okay, and it looks like I'm putting on a lot, but I kind of am. But just pat it in, and it pretty much disappears. And I usually just go on my T-zone mainly, and then any excess on my sponge, I take it out. Because this really mattifies my skin, and since these are both mattifying foundations, it can get a little drying. Since I do have combo skin, I do have dry patches on my face. So now that I have my powder on using the sponge, I usually take a flat top brush and then wipe off any excess so that it's not a ton just sitting on my face. Yeah, any flat top brush will, you know, it'll work, do the same thing. I don't know. It doesn't have to be a flat top one. It could be like a fluffy brush like this, or, you know, whatever your heart desires. Right now I'm just using a dirty brush. This is the one I use every day. But yeah, today's my brush washing day. It's Sunday. So these, I could have done it before filming this, but I just go around kind of patting my face, kind of pushing it into the skin and wiping off any extra powder. Now that we have foundation and powder on, it's time for the brows. Mine are looking pretty meh right now. I kind of plucked them too much. But yeah, what can you do? They'll grow back. But yeah, for eyebrows, I use the City Color Bold Brow Powder in the darker shade. And this is medium for the palette. And then once I'm done with that, I use the Maybelline Brow Precise Fiber Volumizer in deep brown. And this just keeps everything in place. It adds a little bit extra color to make it a little more bold, which I kind of like bold brows, but yeah. To put the brow powder on, I'm going to be using a little angle brush. Nothing exciting. Just to fill in the brows. And I start on the bottom about like a quarter of the way in, and I just line the bottom going along the natural line of my brow. Dip back in and then just kind of start filling in, going up towards the top of my brow. A lot of people do the bottom and then the top part. I kind of fill in and go up to the top of my brow. But no matter how you do it, there's no wrong way, as long as it works for you. And this takes a little patience and practice with getting it just right. But notice I haven't put anything on the inside of my brow just yet. We want the outside to be a little more bold than the inside. Alright, there's the outside part. And then whatever's left on my brush, I take and outline the top and bottom and just kind of fill in the front of the brow so that that's defined, but not as much as the outer portion. And there we go. A little bit of a fade. What is it, the Instagram brow? No. I don't know. Okay. And if you mess up, you can always take a little brush, kind of like this one, with some concealer or your foundation, kind of outline your brow to get that sharper line. I mean, there's so many times where I've messed up my brow and I've had to go back and fix it, but it's not the end of the world. It comes off. Okay. I'm gonna just go along my natural brow, nothing exciting, although I think I messed up the outside. It's looking kind of crazy. But yeah, that's how I do my brow for the powder. And then just take the little brow gel, fiber, whatever it is. And then there's this weird little doe foot wand thing. You just take it on the outer part of your eyebrow and then bringing it into the front so that you don't have as much product once you get to the front part. And it honestly doesn't look like much, but it does define it. It keeps your brow hair in place. And so far I haven't noticed it smudging or anything. But yeah, look at the difference. Bold. Kind of whatever. But yeah, I'm going to do my other brow off camera and then I'll be back. To put dimension back into the face, I use Benefit's Hoola bronzer. This is the original one. I'm pretty sure they have a light version out if you have lighter skin tone or just want something a little more subtle, go for the light, but I love the original. And you can tell I've used a ton of it. Let's go in with an angled brush, like what I have. It doesn't have to be the same one, but any angled brush will do. And you go, so you start right here, or I start right here, right by the hairline, and lightly go down my cheekbone, concentrating most of the powder out on your outer cheekbone. Just bringing it in a little bit to warm up your face. And what they say about less is more in terms of makeup. I mean, you can always add to like your bronzer and everything, but it's kind of hard to take it away. I think one thing if you go in kind of heavy-handed, just get some of your like skin colored foundation powder and you can take a different brush and go over it. That will mute it down a little bit, but it is definitely easier to build up than take away. Alright, so for the bronzer, I don't go below where my cheekbone is. And then we're going to go ahead and do the other cheek. And I bring it up to like right about where I put the highlight on normally, like if I want to be extra and have highlight. But that usually doesn't happen a lot unless I'm going out or something special is happening. Alright. So there is that, looking kind of funny because it's only right here. But I usually dip back in a little bit and go over my nose, bring back some life to my nose. And then go back in a little bit more and go along where you would contour your forehead, and then with the extra I bring it down a little bit and connect all the different areas. Here we go. It's looking actually extra pinkish red on camera. Is that what it looks like in real life? Kind of looks sunburnt. Okay. There we go. So that is bronzer. Up next is contour, which I don't always do, but if I'm feeling a little extra, I do add it. And what I use is Wet n Wild MegaGlo contouring palette in Dulce de Leche. And I like this because it's a little more neutral compared to the other one, and it's really affordable. Since it's not something I use all the time, I didn't feel like spending a lot of money on a contour palette. But yeah, I go in with a little brush like this. I don't know, it's not quite a fan brush, and it doesn't say what it is, but something with that shape. Sorry, it's dirty again. I'm going to be washing my brushes after this. But I go in and tap off the excess, and then right at the bottom of where we put the bronzer is where I'm going to start putting in the contour. And like you did with the bronzer, concentrate most of it on the outer portion of your skin. Right on the other side. Alright, that's contour of the cheeks. It's looking really bold on camera, but we can fix that. Alright, and going in, you're just going to go along the same areas that you put the bronzer, but don't go out as far. This is more of like natural shading for your face. And bring it down the side. There we go, make sure it's all connected. And for this, under the chin a little bit. Give yourself a nice strong jawline. What a lot of people say is the 3. So one little area and then down. I don't know. That's what I've heard it's called, the little 3 on your face for contour. Alright. So that's done. And then next, if I really want to make my nose look, I don't know, slimmer, I use the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. It's just the regular one. I know they have a lighter shade as well, and I've definitely broken the top so it doesn't stay closed. But this one, you don't need a brush. I mean, you can use one, but I honestly just use my fingers, and I'm sure that's a no-no, but I use my ring finger so that I could get a little bit on it. And I put a little bit on the bottom of my nose. And this stuff smells so good, but if you're sensitive to smell and fragrance, this has like a fake coconutty smell that could be irritating to some people. And then I get a little more and I rub it on. It looks really funny. But I rub it on both fingers and then I run it along the sides of my nose really lightly. I'm going to take my flat top brush that I used to put powder on and just go over everything to kind of make it more subtle and blend everything together because it's kind of harsh looking right now. Especially your nose, because that little nose contour can really make you look funny. Alright, so everything is all blended in as well as it can be. And to be able to do like every option for like an everyday makeup tutorial, I have my Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Blush in the shade Feisty. That I'm going to be putting on. It is my favorite blush shade so far. I'm not much of a blush person, but this one kind of changed the game for me because it's, you know, it's pretty and it's kind of, it goes along with my bronzer and everything. So I used to get shades that were too pink that didn't look good on my skin tone, look kind of like a clown, so it kind of turned me off to blush, but this changed my mind all over again, and I do like it. But I just go along the apple of my cheeks and then I blend it into the bronzer. I'm looking really ashy right now. That was a little much. So I'm going to go back in with that powder brush and tone it down a little bit. I'm not putting any extra powder on it. I'm just using it as is. Oh, get away hair. So that's it for the face. I can't believe we've gotten this far. It's because I haven't had coffee and yeah, I don't know. I just got it all together today, kinda, sorta, not really, but I'm able to get this far. Now it's time for mascara, which I have both. I have my Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, and then that one's for my top lashes. This is for my bottom lashes, because it has a smaller wand. But this one is the Maybelline Lash Discovery Mini Brush Waterproof. Interesting title, but yeah. So these are my two mascaras that I use. I usually like waterproof mascara for the top lashes as well because my eyes are sensitive and they water. But I actually do like this one so far. It's not my favorite, but it's doing its job. Ow! I did one eye off camera and you can see the difference. It's definitely more defined. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the other eye on camera real quick. And I usually do 2 coats of the top mascara, just to give it a little extra definition. It's 1 layer of mascara on top, and I let it dry a little bit, but not fully. I'm gonna put the second layer on. And bam! Okay, and then for the bottom lashes, yeah, this little wand is amazing. Okay, I'm actually gonna put a little extra on the right side because I didn't really get enough. And this side, it just looks crazy a lot. Alright, so that's it for eyes. Yeah, this kind of gives me the false eyelash look, which I like, because me and false lashes, it doesn't mix. Like, I've tried to use them and I'm not good at it. But yeah, so that's it for the makeup. All I need is my NYX setting spray, and it definitely, you know, molds everything to your skin, so like the powders and everything, it kind of makes it look more skin-like, more natural, if you could say that about having bright pinkish red cheeks. But yeah, so take it like almost arm's length out and just cover the entirety of your face. Then I take my beauty blender, the same one that I used for my foundation and powder, and I have an eyelash here. But I go and pat down the setting spray. I don't know if it helps, but that's what I do. And then once that dries down, you're good to go. This is my everyday look, and I hope you enjoyed it. It was definitely a struggle getting to this tutorial that was a success, but it was fun. And yeah, if there's anything else you guys want me to film, any other tutorials, then let me know. Alright, bye! It's gone from my skin. You can still see, yeah, like my freckles and all that fun stuff, and My dog's upstairs. I should bring him down because he's just gonna make a lot of noise. I don't know if you can hear it, but he's just walking around up there doing his thing. Okay, I think he's done. Yeah.